Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're jumping straight into something absolutely crucial: poor leg circulation. We've gone through the source material to bring you a quick 2-minute interactive diagnostic and fix. So let's just dive right in and see exactly what's happening with our circulation. So ask yourself right now, are your legs quietly sending out an SOS? Our bodies are pretty incredible. They almost always send out these little whispered warning signals long before a major crisis actually hits. As we go through these next points, I want you to sit back and keep a mental tally to see if your legs are sending out a distress signal you might just be tuning out. Let's find out together. All right, we are looking at the 5 warning signs checklist. These are subtle, everyday clues indicating that the blood vessels in your legs might literally be getting clogged up. Keep track of your score as we go through these. Sign number 1 is a weakened or missing pulse. Here's how you check. Take 2 fingertips, gently press them right on the inside of your ankle, just behind the bone. Then, check a second spot, right behind your heel, near the Achilles. If that steady, rhythmic beat is super faint, or worse, totally missing, well, that's a clear sign blood just isn't making it to the far end of the pipeline. Moving on to sign 2, and this one usually surprises people: disappearing hair. We're talking about thinning or vanishing hair on your shins, ankles, or feet. The research clearly points out we shouldn't just write this off as getting older. When blood flow drops, your body goes into survival mode and prioritizes. It essentially starves those hair follicles first because, well, they just aren't essential. Let's look at sign number 3, cold ankles. And I mean even in a perfectly warm room. People love to blame old socks or drafty floors for this, but the data offers a much better test. Try this out, leader. Wash your hands in warm water, just warm, not hot, and then immediately touch your ankles. If they feel noticeably colder than your thighs, bingo, that's a circulation issue. Blood carries heat, so the simple rule is no blood, no warmth. Sign number 4 is experiencing leg pain when you walk that somehow magically disappears the moment you stop. Picture this: you cover a short distance, maybe just climbing a flight of stairs, and suddenly your calves start to burn or cramp up, but then you stop to rest, and within 30 seconds the pain completely fades away. Doctors actually have a specific name for this. It's called intermittent claudication, and it brilliantly illustrates what's happening right beneath the surface. Your leg muscles are doing the work, and they are literally crying out for oxygen. But because of sluggish circulation, your arteries just cannot deliver that oxygen fast enough to keep up with the demand. And finally, sign number 5, slow healing scrapes. We're talking about small cuts on your feet or ankles that seem to take forever to heal. If a tiny scratch that would normally close up in 3 days on your arm is still lingering on your foot 3 weeks later, you really need to pay attention. Your immune system is essentially running out of delivery trucks. Because blood carries all those vital healing agents, slow blood flow directly equals slow healing. Okay, so how did you score? If you got a 0, fantastic, you're in good shape, keep doing what you're doing. If you counted 1 to 2 signs, those are early signals. It's the absolute perfect moment to step in and act. But if you're hitting 3 or more, you really need to listen carefully and take action right now. The super encouraging takeaway from the data here is that these warning signs are highly reversible once you actually get that blood pumping again. Now, before we get to the solutions, there is one incredibly important safety caveat we have to talk about. The guidelines draw a very hard line between bilateral symptoms, which is poor circulation in both legs, and asymmetrical symptoms. If you have pain or swelling in just one leg, you absolutely must see a doctor first. Get an ultrasound to rule out a blood clot before you try any active movements. Moving the leg actively, if there is a clot, could potentially dislodge it, and that is exactly what we need to avoid. Safety first, always. All right, assuming you're cleared for general poor circulation, the sources outline 3 fast fixes to essentially turn your legs into internal blood pumps. These are all simple seated exercises. They require 0 equipment and take less than 10 minutes total. Let's count them down, starting with the 3rd one. Exercise 3 is the seated toe slide. You just sit up straight and lift your heels slightly off the floor so you're balancing right on the balls of your feet. While keeping those heels lifted, smoothly slide opposite feet forward and backward. You do this continuously for about 30 to 60 seconds. Because your heels are up, your calves are forced to stay actively contracted the entire time. I absolutely love how the source material describes this. They say, your feet pass each other like 2 pistons moving in opposite directions. Keep that vivid imagery in your head while you do it. It shouldn't be jerky. It's a slow, continuous, rolling rhythm.
That constant wave of squeezing and releasing is what physically squeezes your deep veins and pumps that blood right back upward.
Next up is the loaded seated calf raise, which introduces a little resistance. You just cross one leg over your opposite knee, that acts as your built-in dead weight. Then lift the heel of your planted foot, give that calf a really good squeeze, and, this is critical, lower it very, very slowly. Adding the weight of your other leg forces a much deeper contraction, which pushes significantly more blood with every single pump. Honestly, that slow lower is where half the work happens. And finally, exercise 1, the seated leg extension. The sources refer to this as the ultimate move, a complete circulation flash from the ankle all the way up to the hip. You extend your legs straight out so it's parallel to the floor, point your toes away from you for a solid 2 seconds, pull your toes way back toward your shin, and then slowly lower your foot back down to the floor. Let's break down the actual internal mechanics of this full pump cycle, because it's pretty brilliant. When you extend your knee, your quads squeeze the deep veins in your thigh, shoving blood upward. When you point your toes, the calf contracts, forcing blood right out of the lower leg. And when you flex your toes back, the calf releases, acting like a giant vacuum that pulls fresh oxygen-rich blood right back in. It is literally an entire system reset in one smooth motion. So here is your complete daily routine, all mapped out. You're looking at 60 seconds of the toe slide, 30 to 60 seconds per leg of the loaded calf raise, and 10 full reps per leg of the leg extension. The whole shebang takes under 10 minutes. And the absolute best time to knock this out? Afternoon or evening. Why? Because that is naturally when fluid has been building up and pooling in your lower legs all day long. There is one very practical timing warning here, though. Make sure you stop at least 1 hour before bed. Think about it. You're taking all that pooled fluid and actively pumping it back into your main system. Your kidneys are going to start processing it immediately. If you do this right before you hit the pillow, you're setting yourself up for some highly annoying nighttime trips to the bathroom. Always give your body an hour to process it all first. The source material leaves us with a great challenge. Try this 10-minute routine every day for 2 weeks, and then go back and recheck those 5 warning signs. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many of our daily aches, pains, or just random moments of fatigue aren't really about getting older, but are actually quiet cries for oxygen from our own neglected circulatory system? If something as simple as moving our ankles can undo years of slow damage, what other simple signals is your body desperately waiting for you to answer? Something to think about. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.